Bam! Bam! Hi! Sorry about that. Hey, Greg, you joined. If you don't know me, I'm Pip. I run a little digital marketing agency over on Vancouver Island. And let me just bring on my cohort. It's Greg. Greg, you are on screen.
Hey guys, I'm Greg, as you all know, and I run Original 72 Creative, and we're a full-service website graphic design and digital marketing firm in Vancouver.
It was almost perfect this morning, Greg. We are both on screen now, and I am seeing us on Facebook. If you're joining us today, pipe in, say where you're joining us from. And today we're talking about something a little deeper than usual, Greg, right?
A little bit.
A little bit.
It would really be nice to be able to show some visuals for it, but we'll do our best in explaining what we can do, and maybe later on we can do some type of a series in the group where we post some screenshots or something. I don't know.
That would be great. I'm actually not able to invite people. Right? So strange. Oh, well, hopefully people will join. If not, Greg, it's a good conversation between you and I.
Yeah.
If you guys do join, pipe in so I can see you on here, and then we can add your comments to the topic. So, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, let's talk goals. What are goals, and why are we talking about them?
Well, we're talking about goals because it's more, we wanted to get deeper into analytics, which I know you love, how to measure how you're doing, how your website's doing, or how anything's doing, even campaigns that you're running. Because I'm assuming all your campaigns are driving people to your site. So
that should be the goal, right? The ultimate goal.
So yeah, I mean, goals in Google Analytics can be set up so that we can measure the effectiveness of some of the things we're doing. So that's why we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
No, I don't think that many people, I know a lot of business owners get confused about, all the online stuff. And it's our job to educate people for sure, especially our clients. But I think one of the most important things that we need to realize is that everybody should be setting up goals. I'm not talking life goals. I am talking just goals in analytics, right? So goals track actions, right? Actions on your site. I have like a whole laundry list of things. But you said, what are goals, Greg? Let's repeat that.
Were you not listening?
No, I totally was listening. I totally was.
Goals are things that you can set up in your analytics that will help you track conversions of things that you're doing on your site.
Right. Do you set up goals for your clients, Greg?
We talk about things that we're doing on the site, and should a goal be set up to better track over what the default is of what you see in analytics, then we will go ahead and set up some goals. I have e-commerce clients, and we have some goals set up for account creations or a goal for converting a sale and stuff like that.
Do you do any retargeting for your clients on that? Like for when people hit that sales page but don't convert?
No.
Something for your future, right?
Yeah.
Because it's you always want to bring those people back. So as I said, if you're joining us, let us know. For some reason, Google or Facebook is letting me start a watch party. But other than that, it's not letting me invite anybody. I'm so sad.
None of my e-commerce clients are doing any paid advertising.
Interesting. And Are you recommending that?
I discuss paid advertising with all of my clients, and they decide whether or not they want to jump in and give it a shot or not.
That's too bad, because that retargeting would really do them well, right? I think. So, it's funny because the goals we set up for everybody. So, okay, I have what we're going to go through today are what are goals, how and why you want to set them up, where you want to go to create a goal, and some examples of amazing goals. Hey, Kat's here. Kat, do you set up goals on analytics? I know, as I said, so I group goals and filters together. Why? Because they're in the same place in analytics. And so I was telling Greg before we hopped on here, I had some trouble. I've always had some trouble doing my filters and getting rid of my IP address so that I'm not tracking myself. And I went into my own computer and did it this time, got my IP address from my actual computer versus looking online on Google. So that was really interesting. But that's for a different talk because that's filters. So Greg, if we lead people down a garden path, say you're a business owner and you definitely want to do it all yourself because not only you're smart, but you don't want to spend the money on some marketing expert and your web guy's way too busy. So where would you go in analytics to set up a goal?
Well, you would go into the admin section and under the third tab, I don't remember which that tab is called. I think it's whatever the current view is or the default view. There's an option there to click to set up goals, and that's also where the filtering is, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
So yeah, once you go into your admin there and look under that third tab for the goal link, you'll be able to go through the process of setting up a goal.
And it's not hard, is it?
No, it's not difficult at all. You would want to, you want to know probably what you're thinking goal-wise you'd like to set up before going in and looking at it. But it might be worthwhile as well going in and just looking at the goal section and seeing what the options are there when you're setting it up so that you know what you might need when you're going to set one up.
Right. Yeah. So Kat is saying here that she feels like my question was loaded, which it was for sure. She doesn't have goals set up in Google Analytics. I see this all the time. Do you see this all the time? So I think one of the most important things is that people, I think, and you know how I feel, Greg, but people should be looking at their analytics once a week, going in there and clicking on buttons. Like the fear, it's like there's a click fear. Right. And honestly, literally going into that analytics panel and spending time when I teach people analytics, the like beginner stuff, we go through, the behavior, the acquisition. But one of the main places we spend our time is in the settings, the admin panel. And that's because that's where you turn on the retargeting. That's where you put these goals and filters. And they're super easy to do if you do them, and super easy, right? So you just go in there and literally it's a radio button of what kind of goals, and we're going to get into there are 4 types of goals you can create, and you can get really granular. And this is where you end up creating these lists that you can end up using for your advertising and pulling them in. You can pull your goals into Google Ads. And doing that, they're considered conversions. So a goal is actually a conversion. A goal you set up to track conversions, actions on your site, right? So we know where we're going to go set up a goal. And I dare anyone today to go set up a goal in analytics, take a screenshot, and I will give you a $10 Amazon gift card.
Even if it's a goal as simple as you want a visitor that comes to your site to go to at least 3 pages.
Which is good, because then you start. So why would somebody do that, Greg?
Well, the whole goal of having your site is not to just have people see what you've got or see what you're all about, but to actually look at what you do and be interested in one of your products or services. So to be able to gauge how many times someone has gone through the pages of your site, say they hit more than 3 or that you hit that 3 threshold, maybe that gives you an idea that those people are there and they are interested in what you have because they have gone to at least 3 pages to check out what you have.
Yeah.
Or what you're all about.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really important. Well, for instance, you can, so here's a great example. So you've set up goals on your site, and for one of the easy goals is the duration, which is what we're talking about. And duration, so page number. So somebody's spending and they're going to more than 3 pages. So they're more likely to take an action on your site, right? Like fill in a form. So, but say say we don't get email signups, which we're starting to work on our site. So we're watching people go to 3 or more pages, but not sign up for an email. So, so we're missing something. And so then we can break it down further because we're tracking that. And I have a good story, which I told you about before, Greg. So my first class I did, which was a in-person class, we used like a third-party landing page, and we set it up and we set up goals, goal tracking. And we opened up the course and bam, there was a floodgate of 1. That person signed up to every single course, so 4. So we knew that there was lots of interest, but then nobody else signed up. And we learned that not only was it super cumbersome to try to sign up to more than 1 class, like the person had to go in and out 4 times to sign up for the 4 classes, but it locked the system because it locked my time. And so we saw where people were falling off and not converting only because we were tracking the goals, right? So goals are super important. So that was the number of pages. So you could go in and check where people are falling off, which is what we're going to do. You'd go into the behavior section of Google Analytics and check the flow. And you know what? Seeing where people fall off, maybe a button is too low on the page, or maybe you don't have a call to action on that page. And so, you know, what are you doing? What is your site for? I think we have to ask that too, right?
Yeah.
Right. So different sites do different things. E-commerce sites in analytics, you can turn on the e-commerce tracking. But for sites like mine, which I sell a service and I blog, now what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get people to spend time on my site and then fill out a form or contact us form. And yeah, so what are you trying to do on your site is really important because that's going to reflect what you do with your goals. So duration's 1, which I think is really important. Oh, sorry. Page views. Thank you. But Greg, so duration? Why would we track duration on a page?
I don't really care too much about duration.
Really?
Not too much. I look at more the number of pages they went to more than I look at how long they've been on a site because, well, for one, your duration gets skewed because of your bounce rate.
Why? Tell me more.
Well, because a bounce rate is someone that came to your site and left right away.
Yes. And
so they didn't stay on your site at all, really, for any real length of time.
Yeah.
We can get into bounce rate and stuff like that, and what you can gauge from that information as well, but we're talking about goals today. And so I typically don't look at the amount of time someone spends on my site. I look at the number of pages that they've gone to. Maybe they're quick readers. Maybe they just skim.
Maybe they've left their page open too long.
Maybe they left their page open too long,
right.
Like got a phone call. I just don't care about how long of time they spent on the site.
Interesting, because bounce rate is a signal to Google. It is like you want to definitely lower that bounce rate. And so one of the things we started doing was putting video on pages, right? And that increases watch time and duration. You could actually set up a goal for duration and then retarget based on that goal. Or for instance, you can, when you get really granular, you can target people who have watched 25, 50, 75% of a video. So if you create those as goals, then you all of a sudden have this list of people that have accomplished this goal which is a conversion, which then you can retarget to if you're using Google Ads, or Facebook ads, I'm sure. But I focus a little bit on duration, but we've seen an uptick in time on site because we put video on our site. So, but I am not tracking the watch time. I'd probably be a little disheartened. Probably would. But so duration is one of the things, so these goals are really easy to set up in analytics. Literally, it's a radio button you click on, and then it's like equals to like page number, right? Like, so if you want to track page views, like 3 or more pages, right, is a goal, or 5 or more minutes on a website. These are super simple goals to set up, and super fun. And I dare you today, after this, especially you, Kat, because I can't believe you don't have goals, my friend, set up. But wouldn't it be cool? Let's go here for a second, Greg. Wouldn't it be cool if you could look at some sort of report that told you, oh my God, I had a conversion from Yahoo, and I had somebody fill out a form from Facebook, and I had somebody fill out a form from, I don't know, somewhere else. But you can actually do that. You can separate things out, and not only when you set up these goals, you can see where they're coming from, where their source and medium is. And doing that, I mean, that tells you where you should spend some of your time.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. It's hard to explain to some of our clients about goals, but we just set them up, and then in our reporting, I mean, I think we look fantastic, right? Because we try to be conversion based, and it is so cool to see where conversions are happening. Like, we get a lot of conversions. Actually, you guys are going to be super surprised, from Bing. That's right.
From Bing?
From Bing, yeah. I set up the Google My Business, has a Bing My Business. You can actually set up Bing My Business, pull in from Google My Business, and then the conversions just start happening. Just if anybody like Kat, you want a really good tip. Oh, Kat's doing it right now. Right. And how easy is it, buddy? How easy? Okay. So Greg, why do we set up goals? I think let's do the,
we're going through what types of goals easy types of goals you could set up. So, I mean, another one, so that was basically just the number of pages that people go to. Other good ones, if your site has a giveaway, some type of a download, you can actually set up that tracks the number of times someone's actually downloaded that giveaway. Yeah. Or a mailing list sign up. Typically, you can get mailing list sign up information in whatever mailing list you have as well, but you could always track through goals in your analytics how many times someone added themselves to a list by going to a success page after you've entered your email.
So a destination goal, like a thank you page, right? Super easy to track too. Right? Because the only people that are going to see your thank you page are people that have signed up for that form. So that's how most people do it. They, when they have a download, they have a thank you page show up, sometimes with a video. And that's actually a really good one. I know that we've struggled with this with clients a little bit, that they have these forms that once somebody fills it out, it just says thank you below, or form submitted, and you're like, oh, come on, I need a thank you page. For us, it's so much easier to track, because if you want to track the click of a button, which you can, it's an event on a page, which is another form of a goal. However, that's a little bit more in depth, a little bit harder to do, and I believe you need Tag Manager to do that correctly. Right? And then to figure it out, the person doing the Tag Manager would go on the page and click through the elements to find out what the element's called specifically to set that up as a goal in analytics. So it's I think events are a little bit harder to track. However, with that thank you page, right, that's a destination. So it's not
events. Events are more for like someone who clicked your phone number to call you, or clicked your email to email you.
Yeah.
Those click events you can set up so that it gives you the stats on how many times people tried to contact your business.
And we do that. Like, it's important for us because we do some SEO stuff. We want to track those conversions. So we want to track if somebody's coming from Google, going to a page, clicking on the phone number, because then they're calling. So tracking that is a conversion. And then reporting on that makes you look good. Kat, that's for you. But yeah, okay, so events. Okay, I have some examples of, clicking outbound links. You can use it as an event too. Email address, as you mentioned, phone number, downloads, time spent watching a video. I think this is the coolest, right? Like that 50, 25. Because if you combine, I think a solid tactic is doing SEO and retargeting, right? Or Google Ads, SEO, and retargeting. Did I mention I work on Google? But those are like solid winners, right? Because that's how you're going to get the conversions.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to track. We want to get people into this, Greg. Right?
Yeah. Anybody also who's got a e-commerce shop out there, set up the funnel for your shopping experience. So from the point where someone's on a product page and added something to their cart, track the process from there until you get to the success page of an order, and mark that as a goal. And you can see how many times you've converted a sale. But the other thing that funnel will show you in the goal analytics is how many times people have added a product to their cart
and then left
and not checked out or not gone through the process. And at each step of the process, you'll be able to see how many people dropped off at each point.
Mm-hmm. Super important.
Or if people have re-entered at a certain point within the funnel, maybe someone added something to their cart, went to the checkout, and then decided, oh, I want to keep shopping. So they'll leave that page.
I've done that.
Continue shopping, and then at some point go back to the cart page. So it gives you all of that information, and it's amazing information to go through. You can see the percentage of how many times you can actually convert from when someone adds something to their cart,
right,
and actually check out what that percentage is and decide if it's really low.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your site and determine where it is, that because obviously if you know someone's adding something to their cart but not checking out, why are they not checking out? And this gives you great information on maybe why that's happening.
Yeah, I got the head nod going. I will say it's so true, because so one of the things that we've seen a lot of is for e-commerce, when people shop, they'll get to the checkout page, and then there's that shipping fee. And that shipping fee can kill you. And so people get disgruntled and drop off there. And so one of the ways, if you're seeing that a lot, one of the ways to combat that is to get rid of your shipping fee and raise your prices. And do it that way, because nobody likes a shipping fee. People would rather pay more and have no shipping costs. I don't know why. It's maybe this human instinct of like just being shocked maybe at that point and then falling off. Again, this is where retargeting comes in too. We should probably do a chitty chat on retargeting, because I'm all over that right now. But yeah, if you're into that, make a comment below. Retargeting is the place to go for this stuff. But it's just so important, because when we get really into the online space and working with our website being the hub of where we want all our interaction, like if we don't start paying attention to kind of what's under the hood, we can't get better. Like you're constantly blogging, you're constantly making new pages, you're constantly doing all this stuff, but if you're not measuring anything, like how can you do better? Right? So, and goals feel good in the end, right? They do. They're like, oh, I did it. You know what? Like, it's nice.
They could also feel really bad if you set up a goal and you see, it's not working. I'm missing all this. Tons of people getting there, but they're not doing what I need them to do.
That is my, that's what's going on for me right now. But that just, you know what? That gives incentive to improve and figure out where, I mean, when you get it, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't really lose it. Well, you can, but I mean, if you pay attention to this stuff, your site can only get better, more improved. Oh, and Kat, I do have some feedback for you on your site. If you're still listening, they're launching a new site, Greg. You'd have some opinions, my friend. I might actually shift it over to you, maybe, if I can, and get your opinions. So, but that being said, goals are the thing to utilize. Now, Greg, Rena asked a question. I don't want to forget about this. Rena asked a question today that, of course, we're going to answer, which is, how often should you adjust your goals? No, I have an answer, but let's get Greg's answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure goals need to be adjusted unless something's changed in your giveaway, or if you've changed your sale process on your checkout process on your site. Typically your goal would only change if you've changed the process on your site. At some point, you need to update the goal to reflect what the new process is.
Just to mention, my dogs are going to freak out any second because somebody's coming to our door. And I'm not sure why the dogs aren't freaking out, but we'll just go through the next 3 minutes of maybe some solid barking.
Because they know you're online.
I did tell the gentleman to show up at 11:30. He is 3 minutes early, like a good sales rep. Always a little early, right? So not my problem. Ignore the dogs. Oh, Kat feels personally called out by this live. I'm not sure if I should feel bad. She is laughing, which is good. Yeah, I totally called you out, Kat, because you're here and you're a marketer, my friend, and you're solid at what you do. So, hey, by the way, did you know Data Studio, you can pull in your mail list stats and info, but that's a different story. Kat, set up those goals. Everybody else, yeah. Set up the goals. Like, this is where it's at. If you're going to set yourself apart, I think as a business owner in the marketing space, this is where I think people should focus, because this is what do you think, Greg? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you make a website for someone, you're setting. I know you set up their analytics because you're lovely, and you set up these things for people. So do you set up any like goals initially for them?
So, no, like I said, we talk about that stuff, but the web project is a web project. It's design and development. This is getting more into the marketing realm, which I also discuss with them, but typically it's not included in my web costs. So when I complete a website, I'm discussing with the client, marketing options and other things, trying to obviously drum up more business for myself type of thing, and get them set up so they can actually take advantage of what the website's doing and have that information so that they can make informed decisions on how it's performing and how it's affecting their business. But it's a separate thing over and above a typical web project.
Yeah. You should add it on as a little tick box. Because this is one of the problems, is who does this? Do you hire a developer? Is it a marketer? Sometimes marketers don't use analytics, Kat. No, just joking. I know you use it, but so it's kind of this awkward space that people get in where they don't know how to use it. People aren't setting it up. If you're not advertising, this is a hard place to know, because you could fit this right into an offering in your business. We don't have to offer it in our business, but we definitely do because it helps us look good. And I think it's essential to play around in your analytics. And as I said before, I think people need to get click happy. You can't really break anything in analytics, and you'll always learn something. Goals are a big piece of analytics in the admin settings. So we're over time by 1 minute and 8 seconds, Greg. Do you know what we're talking about next week, my friend?
No, but next week we have a guest.
Greg.
Don't we?
Greg. Guys, and you wonder why
We have a guest this month.
We do, but there's 2 more weeks in this month.
I thought it was the 4th week or 3rd week. Technically, this is the 4th. It will be the 4th live this month because we did one on the 1st. So
next week it's true. Next week is the 22nd, and that's when we have a special guest. Greg might take the weekend off, guys, or the Thursday, because he likes to party in the summer. Remember, Greg, you said that? Do you remember?
What? I'm lost.
He did. Okay, so next, guys, we're so fortunate. Next week, we have Veronica Sagastumi coming online.
That's right. We do have a guest.
Yeah, next week. It's true.
Why were you pretending I was wrong?
Oh, I thought you said the week after.
Oh.
Side is here. Is that how you pronounce your name, buddy? Let me know if I butchered it. I am sorry. Glad you joined us. Great. So next week's going to be really interesting because we're talking about creating a niche or pivoting in your business. We're all growing. We're all learning. What your business was 3 years ago might not look the same as what it is today. I started out building websites, and then I met Greg, who does a way better job. And so now we focused purely on SEO and PPC, a little bit of social in there. So this is going to be really helpful for anybody wanting to learn about what it feels like to niche down or pivot and why you would want to do that. It's going to be super fun. If you don't know who Veronica is, she did a Go Live Sunday, and she's right in there saying how we met. It was kind of cute. Greg, did you see that? Did you take
the time? I did see that, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was expecting a no.
Oh. I see everything on there.
Greg's always like, I don't have time, Pip. I'm not online. I'm like, oh, fine, Greg, fine. Anyway, the week after, we're doing another great topic, which I'll mention now, I guess, which is advertising at the advantages and disadvantages of working with your client using their services. Right? Anyway, next week, special guest. We're out of here for today because we both have to go work our buns off. It's getting close to the end of the month, and we both have amazing things to do. So if you are catching the replay, tag replay. Don't forget to give us some laughs and some love. What else, Greg? What else? I got anything else?
Make good choices.
Don't get captured. I was going to try to take Greg off the screen, guys, but those are our taglines. And remember, marketing is a group effort. So we'll see you next week. Okay.
It's a personal tagline, not a business tagline.
Yeah, personal. It's all about the personal in here. We'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.